there, my name's Timmy Joe, making videos about computers on the internet. She's ramping up. This is a crazy deal, okay? It's a crazy freaking deal. This is a core. It's very loud. It's ramping up. Very loud Core i7 system, okay? Achieved for the price of $85 with an Nvidia graphics card in it and 12 gigabytes of RAM. $85 acquired locally, and oh my god, it's getting loud. So you want to see how we got this deal and how it includes a lot more? Cue the intro, and we're going to talk all about it.
Timmy Joe reviews anything.
Reviewing computer parts on YouTube.
That's right.
You gotta be pumped on that, right, Will? Computer parts! Woo!
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, she's really ramping up now, guys. What's up? My name's Timmy Joe. We're back. So we're running Unigine Heaven. I always like to warm my hands. And, you know, it's doing an alright job. The GPU is getting up near 80 degrees. Got a little bit of an overclock on it. I'll go over all the specifications. And I'm just going to turn this off. It's way too freaking loud. Shut up, you! But yeah, this is a Gateway FX6802 gaming PC from the first generation of Core i7. And it's actually a pretty interesting deal that was acquired. Unfortunately, it was not acquired by me. A friend of mine now, a guy that's been helping out the channel, he actually drove up to where I live and brought me the 8800 Ultras that you see right here. Boof! He messages me, hey dude, can you go and check out a deal for me? I think I found a pretty good gaming PC on a deal in your town. And I was like, you let me the 8800 Ultras? Like, of course I'm going to help you out, dude. So, we check out this Facebook Marketplace post, and lo and behold, a pretty cool gaming PC. In fact, I am extremely butthurt that I didn't see this deal and jump on it before he did. But all is fair in love and war, and I mean, I can't really scoop it from underneath him, considering, you know, he just lent me some GPUs, and there'll be a lot more hardware coming from him. So I'm like, you know what, sure, I'll go grab it. And there was some question on whether we were going to get the deal or not. Somebody was coming to look at it, and the guy had just reduced the price, and then he even lowballed them even further. It was listed for like 300 or 200. The guy had it down to 150. And then we even talked him down to 120. So we actually set the deal up. Everything's going to be golden. And I go in, I deposit an email money transfer in my account and realize that fees had just come out of my account. And I'm waiting for YouTube money, and I got money in PayPal tied up. But so I actually ended up having like $114 of the 120 Canadian available to me. So I took out 110, and I have some cash at home. I was going to go home and get an extra $10, and then, you know, because it's not his fault that I had bank fees come out. But I'm passing by the guys with the computer's house anyways, so I'm like, I'm going to stop in and see if I can't finagle him more. So I open up the door to this guy's house, and not only is this crazy Core i7 FX, you know, with orange accents gaming computer sitting there, but he's got a sack and some wires and some key. So this is all what we got in the deal. 110, which ends up being, you know, if you want to check it out, $85 American. Got us a keyboard. It comes with a terabyte hard drive. It came with another 500. AMD driver CD, some wires, another wires, another video card. I mean, it's no good or anything. It's an HD 4650, but another video card nonetheless. And a 1080p display, an LG, 24 inches, like, or maybe this is, yeah, 24 inches. Like, that's crazy enough. And then another Dell one. So, like, and then, you know what? There was even a box, because the power supply had been replaced in this thing, with the original Retail Plus Craptacular power supply. So for $85, an incredible deal. We got a first-gen Core i7 system, 4 cores, 8 threads, running at 2.66 gigahertz, 12 gigs of DDR3, and I believe this is the X58 platform, so you can put those crazy 6-core Xeons in this tech, so, you know, probably. But it's a gateway, so, of course, you're going to be fairly limited to the, things you could do to increase the performance on this system. In fact, I've been trying very hard to overclock it, and I have nothing to show for it. Even the video card doesn't want to be overclocked. I assumed the thermal paste is just finagled on it and needs to be replaced because it gets up really loud, really hot, really fast, and even with like a 50 megahertz overclock and 100 on the memory, it was not doing too well. So this is the specs on the system. We have a Windows 7 home system with originally an Nvidia GeForce GTX 260, which has been upgraded, and a Super DVD Light Scribe disc. It's 1 terabyte hard drive. It's got multi-one digital media. It's got SD card readers, and 12 gigs of DDR3, and a Core i7 920. So 4 cores, 8 threads. You know what? Not so fast these days, actually. Not so fast, as we'll see in a second. But, respectable specs. In fact, what's really limiting this thing right now is the GPU. It's a Nvidia GeForce GTX 560 Ti 1 gigabyte edition. And although it's an MSI Twin Frozer, and it looks pretty cool, it's really at the end of its life. In fact, we'll go over that in just a second, but the performance on it is pretty poor. I did some benchmarks. I've been trying to overclock this system. So this is the XFX Radeon 6550 that came extra. It looks brand new. I thought maybe it originally was what was in here, but no. But good thing they changed this out, because the original 260 that was in here wouldn't have been DirectX 11 compatible, but also would have been, not that great a video card, especially by today's standards. So I looked up, the product page. I tried to, and all, they do still list the drivers, and a BIOS update was available, so I did that. But aside from drivers, there's really no product page you can get to. And then I started going through all these old forums and stuff like that on biosmods.com to try and find, because I know you can find, like, oftentimes these motherboards will be like, have the same chipset and features and microcodes across different motherboards. In fact, this one shares, some stuff with an Acer and stuff like that. So there might be a BIOS hack that could be done to unlock certain features to enable you to overclock. But as you see here, I actually did successfully install a BIOS that allowed you to see the multiplier functions and stuff, but I couldn't go up because this isn't an unlocked multiplier on this CPU, and there's no base clock overclock or frontside bus overclocking options in any of these BIOSes, and they were starting to make the computer act a little funny. So I reverted back to the original BIOS and kind of gave up my search to overclock this thing. So it's kind of pretty much limited by the base frequency of 2.66 gigahertz, and on the first gen cores, they're not fast. Like the Cinebench score here, I'll pop it up for you here. It barely breaks 400, and that's it's not even thermal throttling or anything. The cooler on it is actually, although it's really freaking weird looking, it does all right. So this is the Firestrike score of this system as it lies. It's 3427. Now, it has a graphics score of 3800 and a physics score of 53. And what I always love to do is compare it to the new AMD APU. I mean, this probably was a $2,000 computer, at launch when it came out. And now it is handily beaten by a system on a chip, a Ryzen 2400G, which gets a graphics score a little bit higher at 3935, my particular sample, but the physics score is it's double basically, because that will do almost 850 to 900 in Cinebench, the 2400G. This thing, like I say, can barely crack for hundo. So you want to see some benchmarks? Let's look at some benchmarks. you know, I didn't go mega crazy ape shit with the benchmarks because, again, this isn't my computer. And, you know, you could probably throw, you know, a good graphics card from, you know, around now into this thing and do some cable management, obviously, and walk away with a pretty decent little system. Problem being, it's not mine, and number two, you're pretty much, you know, stuck. There's barely any upgrade options you can do to this except for put a Xeon 6 core in there. But without the option to overclock that, you're not going to see any benefit to the gaming performance because the CPU wasn't really the limiting factor in this. It was the GPU, but let's say you put a 1060 in this machine, that's pretty much the highest graphics card you want to put in here. Like the performance in here would be similar to like a you know, KB Lake 4650 whatever, like the Pentiums, you know, with 2 cores and hyper threading at this point. So cue up those benchmarks. My name's Timmy Joe. This is a crazy deal on a computer. I'm going to clean this a little bit up and then we'll come back and we'll do a little conclusion on the Gateway, which I find amazing. Ha ha! Alright, we're back. It came with what looked like they used like the recovery CD or something to put Windows 7 right back on this. And or the guy just cleared out all his files. It was like almost they were maybe remodeling a room, this family, and their son had gone to college and never picked up his old gaming PC. And then they decided to throw it on the old internet, not really knowing what this stuff is worth. But it would take the special kind of person to accept this PC, you know, for what it's worth, because it looks so antiquated, the case and everything. Although I really like it. I actually had what I thought was an HP, but now this FX series is kickstarting my memory a bit. But going back 10 years, I had a Gateway laptop that was this exact like branding, the FX with the black and burnt orange, and it had like a Core 2 Duo or a Centrino or something like that in it, and like an 8800 series or 8600 mobile graphics. So seeing this kind of kickstarted something in my head, but some really cool features of this, aside from pre-installed Norton antivirus and you know, Canon software, just keeps popping up Norton antivirus crap. Like, remember the days when you actually had to have one of those installed? Pretty much gone by the wayside now. But like I say, the power supply was changed at one point, probably because the Retail Plus one, you know, was just not good enough to run this GPU, or you know, it just they conk out. They're no good. But it comes with this cool drive bay in the front with hot swappable drives. You can just pull this little thing down. You can pull them out. I actually have like the caddy for the secondary hard drive that came with this here, so I could put my games drive in there. But you know, just the fact that this case, I mean, look at it. It needs some TLC. It needs the cables ran properly, and I would probably put a better video card in here, just because even, you know, a 750 Ti, a 1050, something like that, would revitalize the system for modern, you know, proper gaming. As you saw in those benchmarks, the graphics card pretty much is the problem. You know, I didn't run too far testing, mostly because running on a mechanical hard drive and running on an older system like this with older graphics, it's just a pain in the butt. It takes twice as long to do everything, so I don't need to run, you know, 10 game benchmarks on a system that's not even mine. But it's cool to go back and see the kind of performance that this would have originally came with. In fact, it would have had even worse, because it would have had a non-DirectX 10 or 11 compatible video card at 260. And I would say the 560 Ti in here would have been a very good graphics card even a couple of years ago. But the 1 gig of VRAM, I mean, freaking Far Cry 5 pretty much says it's using almost 3 gigs of VRAM on low. And this thing's only got 1, so there's going to be a lot of swapping and texture swapping and stuff like that. And I'm at Watch Timmy Joe, Instagram and Twitter. This has been a look back at an amazing little gaming computer. I mean, this is some high-end stuff for the time. It's got triple channel memory, and it's got all the DIMMs are populated with a total of 12, six slots in total. And this would have been pretty freaking high-end for the time, especially in the CPU department, not so much the GPU department. But it's a really fun look back. And this deal, I mean, I didn't get the deal, and I'm butthurt about it a little bit. But, I mean, you got to keep looking out for the deals, because if you're a hot guy on the deals on the Craigslist, the Facebook marketplace, the Kijijis, the whatevers, you know, the Gumtrees you're looking at, you might just find some unsuspecting couple who's looking to revamp their son's old bedroom, finds the old gaming PC, fires it on the internet, and gives you about $400 worth of stuff for $85, and out the door with a spare ATI graphics card to boot. I'm at Watch Timmy Joe. I'll see you guys later. It's been a slice, but we're gonna go. Gateway FX. Go buy one. Affiliate links below. Check out my affiliate links actually, and Patreon. Patreon's been going up like double since I made that videos. So thank you. Bye bye.